Well, it's been a little bit since the All Blacks last played against Fiji in America, and a lot's happened since then. We've had in particular, we've had the sevens at the Olympics, and the men's tournament the gold medal went to France. And I guess the big talking point there was Anton Dupont, just absolutely awesome effort. He is one of the best players, if not the best rugby players in the world in any form of the game. And he put a sort of seal on that. And I mean, it was a home game for France, and they stepped up. They weren't favourites at the beginning, but certainly they deserved to win, and won comfortably in the final in the end. Fiji hadn't lost a game, it's worth noting, in the Olympic sevens. The Fiji men hadn't lost a game before that final. And then the New Zealand Black Fern women won the gold medal, and they were pretty impressive, I must admit. I think the Australian women bowed out before the gold medal match. They'll be pretty disappointed in that with that result. It was all lining up to be the Australian-New Zealand final gold medal match, and it wasn't to be. But the New Zealand ladies did exceptionally well and should be exceptionally proud of themselves. I really, really do enjoy watching them play. It's quite refreshing, is one way I'd put it, after watching so much rugby over the years. So anyway, as we look towards the Rugby Championship kicking off this weekend, this video will be about the All Blacks squad naming, and then I'll make another video in the lead up to the games this weekend, and also with sort of my thoughts on what might happen in the competition and who could win, and just general stuff. But anyway, let's go through the team through the squad. The squad has been extended to 36, although I think Harry Plummer's joined the squad this week. But we'll talk about the additions as we go, and the changes too. Hopefully I don't miss anything. I probably will, because there is quite a lot of things to talk about, but please let me know in the comments if I've missed something, and we can all laugh about how stupid I am. But anyway, in terms of hookers, let's start there. You've no change there to the hooking setup. Takiauho, I haven't heard how far away he's at, but anyway, so no change there, no surprise there. And George Bell played pretty well against Fiji in his first cap, coming off the bench, scoring the last try of the game. So he is an impressive player and one for the future. In terms of props, no change there. That's business as usual, and no complaints from me. Our props and our front row, our scrum was exceptionally impressive against England, and again against Fiji. And Fletcher Newell is worth a shout out. When he comes off the bench, it just keeps going. Of course, Tonga Fasi is well experienced at 59 caps now, the most cap prop in our ranks, and Cody Taylor up to 87. This squad list is direct from the All Blacks website, as you can see. In terms of locks, Scott Barrett as captain, no surprise there. Just the addition now of Sam Derry, otherwise unchanged, and going up to 36 players has meant that they can add a lock, and they needed to, if you ask me. No issues with Sam Derry, a player of the future, had an awesome Super Rugby campaign, so one I'm very happy about, and one for the future too, as we look towards the World Cup as well. Scott Barrett and Tuipulotu are in the 30s now. Scott Barrett we've heard he'll miss the first two, the two games against Argentina. He's going to miss those. We don't know anything more than that, I believe. So, therefore, as we move down to the loose forwards, Adi Savia will be captain. As what we're hearing, we don't know the team list yet. So the only change there is the addition of Sam Cane. Otherwise, I think it's pretty much the same sort of setup. Now, Sam Cane coming in for me is one I like. 95 tests, you can't say, sort of turn that away very easily. His body hasn't been quite right, but he has had a warm-up game in the pre-season of the National Provincial Championship, and came through that. So for me, reading into it, Sam Cane might not quite make it to the next World Cup, although I'd love to see that, but he's going to be 35 by then at least. So But he's a ex-captain, he's a leader, he's got more experience than anyone else apart from Beauden Barrett, I think. And then the other thing I like about that is he's probably got some unfinished business, I'd say. Red card in the World Cup final last year, and he will want to make up for that a little bit, a bit of redemption maybe, or just to, get back into it and probably just get some resolution for himself. So anyway, so the loose forward's pretty solid there. I think it really comes down to who actually plays in the 23 halfbacks. The only change there is Noah Hotham for Finlay Christie, which is actually quite a big deal, I must admit. Finlay Christie had a pretty impressive campaign with the Blues, of course, winning the competition. Noah Hotham, however, is a player for the future. There is no doubt. He has got some real good, impressive skills and talent. There was one game the Crusaders played during the Super Rugby competition. I can't remember the game. I was meant to look it up before making this video. But I remember watching that, saying he will be an All Black at some stage. Well, it's happening. It's happened already, and it's happened even a bit quicker than I predicted. But why not get him in there? TJ Perenara's just announced that he's signed for into Japan at the end of the year. The game is in Wellington this weekend, of course, too. First 5/8. It's fascinating that they put Beauden Barrett and Damien McKenzie in there, because it's likely Beauden Barrett will play fullback. We'll talk about that in a minute. But Stephen Perifeta. So the point I find interesting there is just because Harry Plummer's come into the squad for cover of Stephen Perifeta, but Harry Plummer is not a fullback or an outside back. So anyway, no change there. And then midfield, the only change there is the addition of David Havili. Of course, Scott Robertson likes David Havili, but he's pretty experienced. He can play multiple positions, and I think he has been injured, so he's coming back from an injury, but just adds a little bit more to the midfield side of things, and I'm okay with that. Of course, you've got the rest of the team there, and Billy Proctor's going to want some more game time. He played pretty well against Fiji. Outside backs, Caleb Clark, Will Jordan is the addition there, and Ruben Love. Stephen Perifeta under an injury cloud at the moment. Otherwise, business as usual with Severis and Mark Talia. So Will Jordan coming in, absolute no-brainer. As soon as he's fit enough, why not? So we saw that coming. Injury cover, you've got Josh Lord. I did see that he played a game in the same pre-season warm-up game with Sam Cane on the weekend. But anyway, so Will Jordan, the question is he ready to go? He's had a shoulder injury. It sounds like that's fine. We'll see with the team naming this week. However, his fitness shouldn't be questioned. I mean, match fitness is one thing, but he should have still been able to keep his fitness levels up. And he did have a hit out in a pre-season game over the weekend for Tasman, I believe. So that is a pretty sound squad. I don't have too many more comments with that. I think the number of people, I don't know what the rules are anymore, but 36, it's a massive squad, isn't it? But you're giving lots of rookies and young players exposure to the whole environment. So Ruben Love now, I think, is the only player that hasn't played for the All Blacks. Quite a few guys getting a run against Fiji. I think it was six debutants. And so what I want to do now is give you my predicted team for this weekend's test. And you can laugh about how stupid I am. But anyway, so All Blacks versus Argentina this weekend in Wellington. All Blacks strong favourites there, and there's no real surprise with that. So in terms of my team prediction, I feel like, as I run through the team, it's going to be relatively conservative. It's the first game after a few weekends off. That's always, and we want to take this game quite seriously. If we play well and perform well, then that takes a bit of pressure off, and the All Blacks selectors and coaches can make a few changes and tweaks, and if they would like. But I feel like it's going to be relatively predictable. So I've based this a lot off the England tests. Certainly, I think the front row speaks for itself. That is just locked in. Unless there's injuries that I don't know about, please do let me know if I haven't covered something. And then you've got, I think, Scott Barrett it will be, well, we know Scott Barrett's going to be out for the 2 Argentina tests, so I think Tupu Vai will come in for him. Patrick Tuipulotu will be the other lock. I think they'll go with Sammy Penny-Finau. I feel like he needs more game time. He was one of the better blindside flankers in the Super Rugby competition, and he just needs more time and exposure in the All Blacks setup. I feel like this is the right... He's got to... If we're talking about South Africa and leading into that, he's got to have a couple of... This is really pivotal. I think if he doesn't quite hit the mark, then he may sit out the South African Springbok matchup. I think they'll go with Sam Cane to start, but that's just a toss of a coin. Sam Cane could come off the bench. The reason why I've gone Sam Cane to start, because I feel like he's not as good at covering multiple positions coming from the bench. So I'm leaning that way. Ardie Savea can cover open side flanker as well, but Ardie Savea has been named as captain, I believe, already. So he'll be starting number 8 is what I would think. And what I'd want. TJ Perenara, I think he'll start. I know he's just announced to his move to Japan, but I think in Wellington he's going to start this one. He is the most experienced halfback, and again, as I said before, consistency, and they'll be reasonably conservative. Damian McKenzie at 10, I think we've just got to keep doing that and giving him more experience at 10 at test level in the lead up to the Springboks games. Mark Tilley will be on the left wing there, and Geordie Barrett and Rieko Ioane. I think they'll still stick with that midfield partnership. However, of course, that is one of the big talking points at the moment, so we will wait and see. Anton Leonard-Brown has been awesome. I just think him coming off the bench makes a lot of sense to me because of his versatility, but he is world class. Sevu Reece on the other wing, and I think Beauden Barrett will get the start at fullback. He's had enough game time now. Perifeta's got the injury cloud. Beauden Barrett comes in for me. I don't think Will Jordan starts, I guess is my point. I think Will Jordan comes off the bench. That's where I'm leaning. There has been a bit of talk about Rieko Ioane going to the wing. I think he's awesome on the wing, don't get me wrong, but we haven't seen that for a little while. With the wingers we do have, he'd struggle. I don't know, you're asking me. He'd struggle for a spot there, to be honest. But look, I think they've just got to keep persevering there. He's well experienced in that position now, and he'll be looking for. He's heading towards that leading try scorer for the Rugby Championship. Sofa Omoa, that's a no-brainer there. And then the front row reserves, Tongafasi and Fletcher Newell, that makes sense to me. Sam Derry will be the backup lock. We've only got 4 locks in the squad, and Scott Barrett's injured, of course. Dalton Papali'i can cover the blind side as well, and with Savia, you've got options there. I feel like that's the way they'll go, but I do like Luke Jacobson off the bench because his versatility is second to none. Cortez Ratama, that's I think pretty predictable. Hotham is too inexperienced to be coming off the bench yet, I think. In a sort of this game, maybe next week. Anton Leonard-Brown, no-brainer, as I said, as cover. And then I don't think Will Jordan starts. I think he comes from the bench and will get a bit of game time in the lead up to the other games for the rest of the competition. He can also cover fullback and wing. Yeah, let me know what you think, but that seems like I think that's pretty conservative, pretty predictable. And we'll see. I think anything outside of that will be a little bit of a surprise to me. People might not think that this is the way they'll go. I'm saying this is what I think the selectors and the coaches will do. I'm not saying this is what I'd do. But what I would do is be conservative and go with experience for this game. Smash this one out and get a bit of confidence, and then next week we can give a bit more experience to other players. We've got injuries to consider and other things as well. So as far as I know, those are the available players. So let me know what you think. I'll make another video in the lead up to the games this weekend and give you my thoughts on the South Africa versus Australia game as well once we have all the team lists. Please look out for that. And if you have watched this, thank you. Cheers.